So we are at the Confidence Conference in Krakow, and my guest is Martin Nystrom from CISCO. Hello.
Hello.
Martin, could you please introduce yourself? What do you do, basically?
Sure. I run Cisco's Active Threat Analytics program, and we monitor customers' networks for advanced attacks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm. But also I know that you are monitoring the attacks on corporate networks. Could you tell us how much of them there are, like the number?
Sure. If you think of all the data coming in and out of our customers' networks, there are hundreds of thousands of events and attacks occurring every day on corporate networks. And one of the most important things we do is to winnow down that data so that we only talk to customers when we find something serious enough, for example, a successful attack, that we can study it and then reach out to them to very quickly mitigate and remediate that attack.
And what was the title of your speech today? What were you speaking about?
I talked about real-world, real-world threats.
Yeah.
Real-world threat hunting.
On the customer
That's right. Yeah, real-world threat hunting. That's right.
What was that about?
And the whole point was I want the audience to understand what we're seeing, right? Because there's a big difference between what's theoretical, what's possible, and what's actually happening. So if you study the way attacks are working today, the attackers are very successful at finding the soft spots, which are always you and me, the way when we open email and browse to websites. And I highlighted 3 specific examples of different kinds of attacks we've seen, and then how we helped our customers safely mitigate and then remediate those breaches on their networks.
So how can a single user defend from it?
Well, most importantly, just be suspicious. So if you receive an email, let's say today you'll meet somebody and they may reach out to you with an email, let's say a LinkedIn request, maybe a tweet, Instagram message, and they may befriend you, and then they may send you a document and ask you to open it. Perhaps it's a resume or an invitation to a party. And so your defenses are lowered. You'll then open that, and that's when the attack happens. So be suspicious, be careful the way you, when you interact with people, and sort of be on guard about how you open and look at things.
And do you think it's hard to find a good security expert nowadays?
It is, and that's a double-edged sword. Because that means people like me and most of the speakers and attendees here are security professionals. That means the job market is good for us. We're finding jobs, we're getting paid well. It also means people like me who are hiring security professionals, many of whom right here in Krakow will be hiring. It means we have to hunt harder for those security experts. And so it works both ways.
All right, then is there any country that has more the security experts than the other?
That's a good question. I don't know that I could say some have better programs than others. In the United States, for example, the universities are adding great programs into their IT departments, into their programs. The U.S. government is investing in the military, in security training in order to recruit and attract that talent. And honestly, security should be a part of everyone's education in IT. So I'm not sure some countries do it better than others, but I will tell you that the reason Cisco has selected Poland to make an investment in a technology center and hiring is because of the education that we're seeing here in Poland and the kind of professionals we're seeing. We've specifically targeted this region because of the availability of talent and the education of the people here.
That's something to be proud about.
Yes.
Well, except from the fact that you are a speaker today, you are also, CISCO is also the platinum partner of Confidence. Why have you chosen this specific event?
Well, because when I had the privilege of coming to Krakow about 3 months ago, a beautiful, beautiful visit. I had a wonderful time. And when I came, I met Andre and of PROIDEA. I would say PROIDEA because that's how it looks in
PROIDEA.
I know. But when I met him, he suggested the conference as a way to recruit, right? So very, unashamedly, I want security professionals to think of Cisco as a place they would like to have in their career. And so I thought, if I sponsor the conference, here's a good way to make introduction and be able to meet people and start to build their interest in Cisco as a serious security employer.
Nice. I mean, I know there are some plans that next edition will be filled with more students, so that's the aim to get.
It's a great way to get started too. We in the U.S. we're hiring interns, people who are still in college, giving them exposure to being in security monitoring and investigation. It's a bit like being a firefighter because you've got to be in there while the attacks are happening, studying them and all the time. And it's a very important part of anyone's security education is to sort of be a firefighter.
So is that the toughest part of being the security expert?
Well, I've spent years having to be up all night working on security investigations. And it's hard work, it's sleepy work, but it's an important part of everyone's education. And I think everyone should do it at least for a time so that they're connected to the way real attacks happen.
All right, and as my last question, I would like to ask you, who would you recommend to attend such events like Confidence? To the experts or to the students, or who should appear here?
Well, I tell you, it's a good question. Obviously, students will enjoy being here because it's a relaxed, fun atmosphere. There's bean bags and games and even some beers over there. So students will have a great time here. People who are young in their career, who want to gain some experience in other disciplines and get a job. But I'll tell you that I have a number of years of experience, actually 13 years of experience in security, and I'm learning things here today. So I think even people who are seasoned in their security career will be able to find things here that will be both entertaining and educational.
Well, that's really nice to hear. Okay, thank you for this short conversation.
Thank you for the time.